hate the month of July so much. I hate the heat, the humidity, and the lethargy and discomfort that come with it. And it's just completely unbearable until like 9:30 p.m. at the earliest. And I know I'm pretty lucky, all things considered. I know there are people who in areas of the world where they're just sweltering, at midnight. So, you know what I hate even more than that? Something that just happened, as if that wasn't bad enough. I also had to deal with this latest Finchinator sent atrocity, which at least inspired this video. But yeah, I hate when people say GG in real life, and it's usually, like some kid, right? Because this happened because I was talking to a film student and he was, well, I mean, it was already bad enough because he was explaining Ohio as a meme to the, because he was American. He was explaining it to this kid from Kazakhstan. The Kazakhstan kid was like, "What is that?" And anyway, and then I was talking about a movie thing, and he said GG, and it just I wanted to shrivel up and not from the heat. And there's just some things that should be kept online, but at least it did prompt me to make this video about the different types of GG, because at the end of a Pokemon battle, which is the only area I have experience with it, but I'm sure that it is used in other facets of gaming, or probably not even gaming. I don't know. I don't keep up with the young slang anymore. I wonder if Gen Alpha just says GG instead of bye. But yeah, there are many different types of GG. And obviously, it stands for good game. So it's kind of like a handshake at the end of a Pokemon battle, right? However, where it gets interesting is that we know Pokemon often results in bad games, with hacks and whatnot. So sometimes offering that handshake and telling your opponent that it was a good game, you might say, oh, come on, don't take it so literally. It's just a handshake. But there's nobody as petty as a Pokemon player. And it's, you'll hear all sorts of pithy responses to someone saying, oh, actually, it was a bad game because you lucked me and you brought this bad team and you played bad and all this other stuff. So we're going over the different kinds of GGs that have historically been used and have provoked reactions of many sorts. So generally, when I joined the fray, then a CAPS GG was normal because it's an acronym, so you caps it, right? But what's funny is that now, if you caps GG, it's kind of a dick move, because generally, eventually, you realize, okay, you don't need to caps the acronym, and you can just say lowercase GG. So that's it. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, caps GG went from being, the standard to nowadays in the tournament scene. I'm sure like most people who play who are not, deep slamming into the bottom of the tournament iceberg, uh, the competitive Pokemon iceberg, I guess. If you're not there, then if you use a caps GG, then it's not a bad thing. But generally, if you do it in the tournament scene, someone's gonna be like, "Whoa, what's with the aggression?" So it's generally used as more aggressive because the lowercase became the standard for so long. So the caps GG comes from, if you beat someone and I don't know, maybe they were talking shit or something, and you really wanted to emphatically drive home your victory over them. So you win, you throw that caps GG at them, like, yeah, I beat you, motherfucker. And if you think that sounds overly macho or taking it too seriously or anything like that, you are, of course, absolutely right. But, we kind of have to accept that's the territory we are in. Anyway, before we plunder further depths, we have to tell ourselves, hey, let's not question if this is ridiculous. It comes with, anyway. So yeah, that's one caps GG. The one if you win and you're wanting to really shove it in your opponent's face. Now, whether this is warranted or not, whether any of these are warranted or not, is almost besides the point. But generally, if you caps GG and win, it's because your opponent was really asking for it because, I don't know, maybe he had some sort of personal vendetta or something. Or yeah, I would say it's justified there if we're going into the morality of it. But if your opponent hasn't done anything, is a nice person, whatever, and you caps GG, a little bit rude. So that is unfortunately, I don't know why I said unfortunately. That is how it is. So yeah, caps GG if you win. Fine if your opponent is aggressive and a dick, whatever. But if your opponent hasn't done anything, then leave it. Now, if you lose and you caps GG, that's letting your opponent know you were not satisfied with the game. There are all sorts of forms of GG that generally play on the same idea of, good game. Actually, it wasn't a good game. So here's me, saying good game in some sort of sarcastic fashion to let you know that it was, in fact, not a good game. And, the implication being I would have won or I was deprived of a fair chance to win because of whatever conspiracy transpired. Anyway, so yeah, let's say you got hacks because Finchinator T-waved you and you stall or whatever, and he said the lowercase GG, and actually it doesn't even matter if he said it first or not. In this case, I don't think because you lost, so uh, you are going to throw that caps GG at him to let him know, Finchinator, I do not approve of the manner in which I lost this game and it wasn't fair and all that. Now, on the subject of who says GG first, that's actually interesting because even if it's just two lowercase GGs, the standards, then you can. There was something called the offensive GG, as in someone wins, or sorry, someone is about to win and they say GG, as in, not waiting for the game to end. So personally, I prefer to, wait until the game is over, give the opponent the chance to GG. And if they don't, then I'll say it anyway, right? I think that's generally the polite way to do things. So there's that. But if the game has ended and you won and you said GG, then that's fine too. However, if the game isn't over and you say GG, as in I've won, it's generally pretty clear based on the state of the game if you're early GGing because you're losing and you just want to say it early, or if you're early GGing because you're about to win. Now, what's really funny about this is the offensive GG became famous about a decade plus ago when a couple players had the misfortune of GGing early as they were about to win and then getting hacked out of that win. And people will say, oh, well, offensive GG, you deserved it. You deserve to get hacked because you said it early. So yeah, that's pretty funny when that happens, but it's extremely rare now. Ever since it became, public knowledge, then nobody wants to be that person who offensive GGs and then still has the chance to win. Like, let's say you just have to hit a Draco meteor and you win, and you say GG as in, oh, I've won, then you look really stupid when that Draco misses. So do not, I don't care how not superstitious you are, do not tempt the Pokemon gods. Anyway, so there's that. But there is generally it's okay-ish. Let's say that you just have to click Earthquake with your Landorus against a Heatran that's slower, and it's at 1%, so there's no possible way you lose. You're up 6-1. There's no way this Heatran is going to 1v6 you. And then you say GG right before you click Earthquake. I personally wouldn't do it, but it's not really rude, I don't think. I wouldn't love, it done to me, but it's not rude to the point where I'm focusing on that over losing the game, let's say. What you don't want to have to deal with is when you're losing the game and then the opponent starts GGing and rubbing it in your face, like with the Caps GG. I would be much more annoyed by the Caps GG than even if it came after the game was officially over, than I would be by the GG when it was 100% won. So, yeah, if you're going to GG early, make sure you win. And make sure it's guaranteed, not I just have to hit Toxic or Leech Seed or whatever. So, yeah, now once that Leech Seed connects and there's no way the opponent can win the game anymore, go for it. But, yeah, generally I think if you're going to win, you should give the opponent the chance to say GG first so it doesn't feel like you're rubbing it in their face. But that's generally more of a minor thing. So, yeah. Now, there are some people who never GG, like their form of GG, of protesting whether it was a good game or not is just by not saying it at all. So, like, let's say Finch hacks you with stall, and Finch says GG, and you're just silent. That's your form of GG, or sorry, your form of protest. Like, no, it wasn't. I'm not gonna say that shit. Um, yeah. So you've got that. But then there are some people who just never GG at all because they're too above it. I tend to not like these kinds of players because I find that they forget the human element of the game, and it's totally like, of course it's unnecessary, but it's also polite because you're playing against other people. And like there are some players who just say, "Oh, well, I never say GG because I don't believe in it or whatever." And it's like, okay, what are you proving here? But whatever they're proving, I guess it's at least it's fair. If they just never GG for anyone. There's some people who only GG like the people they respect, which is also like, who the fuck do you think you are? Um, yeah, that goes beyond the standard level of we're taking this too seriously. That's really going up your ass and disappearing. But I think I understand if like someone really hacks you badly. Like let's just assume that the hacks in question is reasonable, right? Because some people will miss 1 out of 16 fire blasts. I guess if you have two fire blasters, yeah. Let's say you hit 15 out of 16 fire blasts, and if you missed even two, then you were toast, and you missed that one, and someone starts complaining, "Oh, this game sucks," and all that other stuff we know. Then okay, then you're being a baby. But let's just say that you really did get hacked horribly by whatever unfair thing. If that's the case, then I can't really blame someone for going silent on the GG. Uh, because it's frustrating. You're stewing just a little bit. Go complain to your buddies on Discord. So yeah, I understand not really wanting to. I mean, I personally would still like to say GG in that situation, but I also think that it's generally worth it because you just smash the two letters, send it, and then go complain to your friends about, oh my god, that guy sucks, his team sucks, he got so lucky with everything. So yeah, but I understand when someone's upset and they don't want to do the handshake. Immature, yes, but at least understandable and not completely unreasonable. Because if you're being very literal about it, which I'm noticing a lot, I don't know when this happened exactly, but people become so literal in recent years. But that's a sociological question for another time. Anyway, so yeah, that's the silence. Even not saying GG has layers, as you can see. There's the protest, and then there's the I only GG people I respect because I'm a fucking dickhead, and then there's the I never GG period because I'm above it. And these are generally the same people who are so obsessed with playing that they're just constantly trying to feed their brain with more and more and more. It's like, I don't have time for that, or I don't have the capacity for that. I just got to play more games and win more, and all I care about is winning. And like let's not forget the human cost of things. Cost, that was dramatic, but let's not forget the human factor. Would have probably been more appropriate anyway. So then we have our this was a favorite of mine for a while when I was less mature. The GG in quotation marks. Like, well, you see, I'm saying it, but in quotation marks because I don't really believe it, but it's a formality. Understand? So yeah, there was a time in like 2011, 2012, where like the in vogue thing with good players was to just say Pokemon. Like whenever something super would happen, like full para, Pokemon. You know, I'm a vet. I'm resigned to this. Sometimes you could do it in quotation marks, and but otherwise you could, just say Pokemon, and the other top players would know what you meant. But yeah, GG in quotation marks started taking off after that. So yeah, it's definitely veering more into throwing a tantrum a little bit, which is why it's not very nice and why I've left it behind. But yeah, generally the reason I eventually, after a long time, went away from caps GG or quotation GG, whatever. and this is very rare. I don't think I ever did this, but quotation caps GG. That's really wow. You better have gotten hacks really badly to whip that one out. But generally, the way I looked at it was if you really got hacked, anyone with eyes will be able to see that, and and of course, there are plenty of idiots who will look at a game with horrible hacks and say, wow, player who got all the hacks was really good in that game, when what they did was get five consecutive T-bolt crits and all of the first one parried and they all full parried. And, you know, so yeah, people like that are stupid and it's a waste of time arguing with them in general and you're not going to convince them. But actually, maybe you might. People can be very, I'm trying to not be too mean. People can be led astray very easily. So, because the reverse is also true. Someone will say, "Oh, I got hacks," and other people will go, "Yeah, you got hacked so badly." And then you look at it, it's like, "Really? Did you?" But these kinds of people, do you really value their opinion anyway? Anyone whose opinion is worth listening to will see, okay, yeah, that was stupid. So throwing a tantrum is, I mean, you got to get out of your system sometimes, but generally it is something that people grow out of. You know what I enjoy, by the way? There are some people who are very sanctimonious about telling other people, oh, don't complain about hacks, it's so mature. And then whenever you see them complain about hacks, and then that's just sweet. Yeah, so to wrap things up, there are other forms of GG that go just beyond, the two letters. If you're sorry, if you're pretending, if you're fake nice like Finch or real nice like CL, then you could say GG, sorry for the hacks, or GG, T-bolt pair, or even if you're not sorry because again the literal thing, people go, oh, you're not sorry, you want hacks, you wanted to luck me because you want to win. Don't pretend you're sorry. It's like, I'm trying to be nice, asshole, but I understand the frustration. So with that, then you can just say, you can, maybe you don't say sorry if you want to, be nice to this person who you feel a little bad. And it's like, yes, you do feel a little bad sometimes because you know what it's like. It's called empathy for another person. And I'm arguing with the ghosts of my past that, yell at me in my head again. So you get what I'm getting at, though, I hope. That you understand it sucks, and you generally, if you want to win, you also want to show that you're skilled because history has shown us people who win but don't win skillfully, they don't get looked at the same way. So you want to win skillfully, and it's generally just nice to have someone acknowledge that something sucked. Like even if you don't say GG sorry for hacks, like as in I robbed you, it doesn't necessarily mean I robbed you, but let's say a focus blast miss, just this has happened. I think I've said this, like GG sorry for focus, um, because like I'm not saying focus blast would have won you the game, but yeah, I understand focus blast sucks. Sorry that happened, or my sympathies, whatever, however you want to frame it, you get the idea. So or or you know what you can do? You can say GG para was lame, because yeah, the para was lame. The para was helpful. Or if you don't want to say, the sucky, it's like just acknowledge the impact it had on the game. Another way you could say, oh, GG Scaldburn was big, stuff like that. GG long sleep. My bad about the long sleep. Yeah, but it's like, oh, well, you went for the long sleep. Well, yeah, but I'm still, expressing anyway. Yeah, now, the nice one, which we've saved for the end because it's nice, is that we can say, like, let's say this happens rarely, but when it does happen, it's so pleasant. It's not like a feeling of euphoria or anything, but it's just such a nice thing to have happen that you really enjoyed the game. There was no hacks or minimal hacks or it didn't really matter, and you like feel some sort of connection with the opponent. Yes, it sounds sappy, but bear with me. Let's acknowledge our feelings, okay? Because it is a nice thing. Sometimes you play a game of Pokemon, it was a great game, you had a lot of fun, and you really enjoyed it. You enjoyed playing against this other person, and you want them to know that you really enjoyed it. So in that case, you could say, GG, had a lot of fun. I don't know. GG, fun one. GG, really cool game. You know, stuff like that. It's very rare, but it's very nice to happen. Or what's most common? I was waiting for it to come back to me. Just GG man or GG friend or GG dude, or like if you throw in the man or dude because it was a lot of guys primarily. for a long time, then you're letting them know, hey, I really really like this one. So that's about every GG I can think of. So if there are any I forgot, please do let me know. Um, yeah. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.